Keep flour in the fridge for too long because it starts oxidising and the flour grain starts going brown and not very nice. But you know, a couple of days in advance, absolutely perfect. So we're just going to roll this out over here.
Do people make their own bread? Because it is one of those things, whether you have a bread maker or whether you actually make it yourself. It is...
And again, as I say, that's just for this, just get the texture right. So you know when you make dumplings or you're making a pastry, you know, also in the recipe doesn't necessarily say how much is in there. It's just more of a to the eye, because sometimes you can follow a recipe, it just doesn't necessarily work. But with this, again, it's just like making dumplings or making pastry or something like that. You just need a pliable dough that's workable.
And what was the herbs you had in it?
It's fennel seeds.
Fennel seeds,
yeah.
Right.
And obviously, I did actually, I've missed one ingredient which is on the recipe. I put sugar and salt in there as well, you know, so you balance the sweet and sour off to go with what you're having. You can eliminate it totally, but again, if you think about it, it literally just is flour and water. If you don't put any aromatics or any salt or sugar in there, it will taste like water.
Yeah.
So.
So, as you were saying, you could cook that overnight or cook it days in advance, perhaps.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, ideally, the soup will be served on the day that you make it, because the aromatics in there. And it will permeate. It will kind of.
Well, I was going to say, obviously, the longer you left chilies or the lemongrass in
it.
it.
The aromatics will be coming out in a minute.
Yeah.
I'm literally going to pass that off. So that's when I'll cook the chicken and the fish sauce and the other bits and bobs that go in there. You see, so then I'm in more control. I've actually perfumed my coconut milk to the level that I'd like it, and then it's literally just finishing off, and the chicken is actually marinated in lime juice as well, so the citrus sauce to cook it and cure it, which makes for a 10-piece of chicken. I always use thigh meat as well, never breast, because breast can be a little bit dry, unless it's on the bone or roasted. But with thigh meat, it's got a high.
So it's a browner.
Yes, yeah, it's literally just a thigh meat. Yeah, so it's, for me, it's far more tasty.
Yeah.
And just gives you a better end product as well.
And cheaper.
And cheaper. Exactly.
And cheaper. Chicken breasts are, let's face it. But not, you know, the thing about quality of meats as well. Don't, you know, as we go, we bang on. But please go to your butcher and ask him about your meats, rather than Tesco's. I'm just saying that in case everybody hears from.
Again, I've just got some butter in here that's just been melted, just clarified butter. The whey's still at the bottom, but I'm just using the top. And again, to actually pan fry your bread in that, just gives it a nice goldenness, nice crispness, nice richness. So just a little bit of that in there just to kick it off. And I normally use just a bit of blue jay cloth or something of the like, just to roll the fat around the pan, so you've got a good covering. And it's not going to like shallow fry. You want it, the pan to still kind of have some of impact. You know, like a naan bread, the way they're plastic like that is pat it against the inside of the tandoori.
Yeah.
This, you're always trying to create the same effect. So you don't want too much oil, but you want enough in there for it not to stick. And it literally just sits in there while the soup's just kind of coming down.
So roughly how long will that take?
A couple of minutes, either side,
that's all.
and then it's going to go back through the oven in a minute.
Okay.
I've got some flaked almonds, and I'll just brush the clarified butter on the top of the bread. Sprinkle it with flaked almonds. It just goes back to the oven just for a bit. Ideally, you put it straight on the shelf, you know, like you would have pizza, so it just crisps up a little bit more. Or you can put it in the pan, or however you kind of envisage it being. You can cook it a little bit, not doughy, but not as crispy as you like. So it's got a bit of give, you know. It's entirely up to personal preference. What's this now?
By the way, obviously, if anybody has any questions as we're going along, do please feel free to ask oriental questions.
Sorry?
Clarified butter.
Yes, exactly like ghee. Exactly. You probably could, but literally it's just melted butter.
I was going to say, what is the difference?
To the bottom, and then basically just skim it off of the label and you have clarified butter, and that is pretty much it. It's as simple as that, and that's exactly what ghee is as well. It's just an Indian derivative of it.
So it's not that it, because of melted butter, it's, I don't think, I'm a bit confused as to what the difference is. It's just melted butter.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much, but it's just an Indian way to do it. It's not quite the same as what we do over here. I couldn't tell you individual crops of what goes into the ghee, but I know it's pretty much the same principle. You use it in the same way in cooking. You ghee can fry spices off when you're cooking a curry. Same principle you use can fry, plus it's not for cooking fish. It doesn't have the highest burning temperature, but it's very nice to cook things like that, obviously even though it's steak or something like that. It's an alternative to using any oils that you might have.
Good.
Right, now pretty much I can smell the difference now of all the aromatics that have gone into this coconut. The sugar's melted, the lemongrass has had enough time to permeate and tee off in there. The chilli, again, just enough probably in there now to give it a little bit of a heat on the back of the palate. And again, the galangal, it was enough to permeate in there. So I'm just going to try and find myself a bigger pot to pass it off into.
One thing, it's a bit like when you go and you know, you stay at a friend's house and you offer to help cook, and you spend half the time looking around, opening every drawer and every cupboard, thinking what's happening. I did exactly that when I came here on Friday, so I thought, well, so I know where everything is, and of course then sort of went like this. Of course it's a very lovely kitchen that's been given to us by Simply Wood as a design, but of course it's a half dummy kitchen, so it's not his kitchen. What would you like? Oh, sieve, we dream of sieves. As opposed
That'll do. That'll be fine. That'll catch the bits that I need to.
Except that I'm not quite sure why they made it square.
No. Each to their own, I suppose.
Square bowls? Squirrels? People have those? So you're basically taking all of the infusers out.
Again, so you can leave them in, you obviously don't want that floating around in your soup. But you just need it, it is almost just like a big tea bag.
Yeah.
Okay. The next step is obviously to pour this back in. But that's done enough for me now. I've just got enough colour on there. I'm going to rub a bit of butter on there in a minute, and then the flaked almonds will go on top as well. You could also, if you'd like, sprinkle a few herbs on there, more aromatics if you like, but then it's just going to go back through the oven just to finish the cooking process. So the next step is the chicken. This is just chicken thigh. If you go to your butcher, you should be able to get them. I get them through a wholesaler as well, but literally it's a chicken thigh that's skinless and boneless. If you can get hold of it, it takes all the hard work away from yourself of taking the thigh bone out, removing the skin, doing all the bits and bobs, and it is, like you say, it is actually very much affordable and value for money. So this is just going to be gently poached in the coconut. Lime juice.
My mouth is watering. This is my kind of favourite food.
And then we have, just to balance off the sweetness as well,
plus the joy of the one pot.
Fish sauce. It gives it a bit of a salty finish. Just a couple of work on that.
You do have to be quite careful with that, don't you? Because it's incredibly salty.
I'm just going to let that come up. Right, now for the bread.
And what sort of mushrooms were you using here then?
Using oyster mushrooms today. They cook very quickly. There's very little preparation. On the video, like you have to scrape the stairs, get the bread, and they're pretty easy to use. They're quite, I wouldn't say a bland flavour, but very easy flavours to work with. They kind of accompany. They're more of a texture mushroom.
I was going to say they don't overpower what they're.
Exactly. Then we've just got some shallots. Going to go in there as well. Just finely diced shallots.
It's a bit like, as Darren said in the demonstration before, having Ben, I don't know if any of you guys were here, it's like having somebody else working with you in the kitchen. If you had that lovely joy of somebody having chopped everything for you, and it was just sitting there and be like, that's an hour saved, that's lovely. And then take all the praise for the finished result, obviously.
Obviously the beauty of curing the chicken before, obviously you're going to get a big citrus hit through the chicken as you eat it.
So how long has it been marinating?
Probably about 2
lime
hours.
juice, you say?
Lime juice. I just put it in lime juice before I arrived this morning. Literally about an hour before I got here. And that obviously, the citrus, the acid in it starts cooking the meat. So obviously, it will form the shape of it. It will make it more tender. It's like, cooking, like a cured piece of salmon or a cured piece of fish. It's the same principle.
Yeah.
So that goes through, and then obviously it'll cut down the cooking time of your dish as well. Oyster mushrooms again are very easy to prep. You don't need to get the chopping on a chopping board and chop them up or anything like that. It's literally if you just pull them apart, they just come apart lovely. Very easy. And these are going to go in pretty much at the last minute. Yeah. I'm still just a single guy doing.
Yeah. No, I was just saying. So we've got the recipe sheets. Basically, that's on the front. The recipe is here. So the method is here. The method is in the madness.
I should have given you all the pens, you just jot down notes.
Yes, exactly. We'd be testing at the end. But I'm sure any questions you ask, he'll be happy to answer. But infuse your sauce.
Yeah,
marinate your chicken. Stick your chicken in. Yeah.
There's no basis.
Is there a wrong way of doing it exactly?
Yeah,
No.
You don't have to be the best cook in the world to attempt it.
No.
It's literally just.
Although you are, Dave.
Well.
Yes.
I doubt. And again, just a little bit of butter now rubbed on the top of the bread. I'll do it both sides.
That's the only thing working in here was what happened with us yesterday when it was really quite windy and something was taking quite a long time to cook, and of course the wind had blown the gas out. So carried on stirring, looking like we knew what was going on.